Hi, my name is Janine Johnson, and I am the host of the Green Table Talk. Jaleesa, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share my story.
You donated your liver, Ian, to Jessica.
Like, I listed everything and he just turned and looked at me and was like, okay.
Continue doing you, continue raising awareness, continue to make everybody feel good and feel comfortable speaking out for themselves. Green Table Talk, Welcome to the Green Table Talk. I am your host, Janine Johnson. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting here with my friend, Dorothy. Dorothy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Janine.
Excellent. Now, actually, I should say your full name, Dorothy Vernon-Brown. I just want to let everybody know because that is a very influential name, and I need to let people know how special you are. Hence this episode right here. I have a note here, right, so in front of me, because I want to make sure I get this correct, because this is an amazing title to have. Miss Dorothy Vernon-Brown. She is the founder of Donor Drive for Dorothy, which is the first Black-led Canadian charity addressing the underrepresentation of Black stem cell donors in Canada. The first, which is amazing.
The first. Thank you so much.
The first.
Yeah, that sounds impressive. I'd love to take full credit. I'm a co-founder because there are a couple other people behind this movement as well.
Yes, and it's a team, right? Teamwork.
It is.
Team that makes it work, right?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
So, as our viewers may have suspected, we're going to talk about stem cell and how this affects you personally and how it literally saved your life. Stem cells, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So, let's give our viewers a little background about you. Who's Dorothy? What you do for fun? Just a little insight into Dorothy.
So, Dorothy, I love to say I'm the Wizard of Oz. Today, no red shoes. Purple. I love purple. But really and truly, who I am. So outside of being a mother to adult kids, a wife, and the co-founder of DD4D, actually my full-time job is running my business. I'm actually a marketing automation and AI specialist. And that's
another big title, excuse me.
Yeah, that's what I do. I speak, I write, I have a marketing background. So I'm originally from Jamaica. I'm a transplant here, born and bred in Jamaica, chose Canada as my home, and I've worked in corporate. So that's, I think I was born to help people. I've always done that my entire life. So co-founding DD4D was really not anything new because I'd run another nonprofit prior to this, where we would help immigrants from the Caribbean to settle and assimilate, right? Having come here and understanding the difficulty of doing so. So that's always been, I think, been in my DNA. Even in Jamaica, I did a lot of volunteer work and just helping. So I have helping is in my DNA. Marketing is in my DNA. Just being around people, it's something that I love to do. I'm actually also an author of a mini book around marketing. So a lot of things of, anything that comes to communications, I think I vibe with that. So that's pretty much me. And I love to dance. I want to be on Dancing with the Stars. It is my goal, right? One of these days. I believe I envision myself being on Dancing with the Stars and going really far.
Mm-hmm. So. Yes. So you wear many hats and you love dancing. Excellent. Now that you put it out there, you'll never know. Someone might call you up. Why not?
Why not? Call me up.
There you go. Beautiful. Thank you for the background knowledge of Dorothy, helping us get to know you a little bit better. So how did your organization get started? What caused you to help come up with this brainchild with the other co-founders, of course?
Yeah, that's a great question. And actually, it came out of a personal need, a desperate need out of a campaign to save my own life. So back in 2013, I saw an unexplained bruise on my left thigh. That was certainly out of characteristic for, and so I decided I needed to check it out. I went to a walk-in clinic because my doctor my family doctor was on vacation, and I felt this urgency around getting it checked out before she came back. I did. I went to the walk-in clinic. They say go do some blood work. I did that. I had some other appointment scheduled, medical appointment scheduled, because I like to group my task. It was in the
Mm-hmm.
summer, I remember clearly, summer of 2013 in August. It was going to be that long civic holiday. And while coming back from downtown Toronto, I'm out in the Mississauga area. I got a call from the clinic to stop in. I didn't, even then, I had thought nothing of it. And so when I stopped in, they took me, I went in and I saw the doctor, and he simply asked me, are you here with someone else? And I was a little confused, mean here in the country, here, what? So I was
Mm-hmm.
confused, but he sat me down and then he turned to me. I'll never forget it. A very young doctor, and said, I think you have leukemia. You need to
Mm,
get to the hospital right away.
mm.
That was a gut punch
I can
because
imagine.
yeah, all these years, I've never thought I would hear leukemia. And now
Mm-hmm.
that's a cancer because I've been pretty healthy up until that point. I'm from a family that's pretty healthy. My dad had died just 3 weeks before I was 100. My mom was doing exceptionally well. I never had any kind of health issues before. So this
Mm-hmm.
was such a shock. I went through conventional treatment, chemo, that sort of thing. It put it in remission, and I thought I was doing great. I was doing great for 10 months. And then
Mm-hmm.
I relapsed, meaning the cancer came back. And at that point, it was explained to me, my healthcare team explained that your best result, the best outcome for you at this point is a stem cell transplant. That's when I started to understand the gravity of the situation. And typically, they start testing your family members, your siblings, which they did. I have four siblings, and not one
Mm-hmm.
was a match. I didn't have a match. So for your audience sake, usually when you have like a a blood cancer or a deadly blood disease and you need a stem cell transplant, they look to your family first.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is no match, no compatible match from your family, they look to the stem cell registry. In Canada, Canada's National Stem Cell Registry is run by Canadian Blood Services, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where they started the search. I should
Now,
also,
sorry, quick question for you.
yeah,
At this point, did you even know much about stem
I
cell
had
research, any of that
nothing,
stuff?
zero
Okay.
idea. I
Mm-hmm.
only knew now that I needed a stem cell transplant to save my life. And actually, it
Mm-hmm.
was a nurse while I was at PMH who started to, when we were talking, she had brought up the idea of a stem cell transplant if there was a relapse. I don't think she said if there was a relapse. So that became conscious. I became conscious of that, but I did not understand the extent, the gravity, the life saving. You just started to hear this at a very cursory level.
Yes.
When I now what became very desperate because I needed one because none of my siblings was a match, or not a half match.
Mm-hmm.
And we were trying to find one in a registry. The truth is, at that time, if you're like then, time is now against you. With a relapse, you really need to be treated quickly again in order to stave off those leukemic cells that could replicate and could take over your body once more. And time was against me. And it's at
Mm-hmm.
that time I decided, along with my family, that I was going to go public in order to get some drives going. So that's exactly what I did. I went public with
Oh.
my story. Media picked it up. I mean, internet, local media picked it up, had a drive, and there was no match. Went to
Now,
Jamaica.
could you get donations from anybody? Like, does it have to be from the
Yeah.
Black community or?
Yeah, so anybody can swab. The truth is that once you are swabbing, you swab for any patient in need,
Okay.
for any patient. So it's not particular to you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why numbers are important. Volume, getting more people in that registry becomes important. And what's
Yes.
more, even important, ethnicity is important because you're more likely to find a matching compatible donor from someone your own ethnicity. So because
Yes.
I'm Jamaican and Caribbean, it's likely that I would find someone from that community. But
Mm-hmm.
we typically swab anyone, although we focus on the Black community because of the severe underrepresentation. Speaking of that, it was then that I recognized the severity of the underrepresentation. And I knew instinctively that 1%, I was going to find a match. The
Hmm.
probability, the math just said, I'm not going to find a match because the
No.
probability was so low.
Now, why do you think that is? Why do you think the numbers are so low? It's lack of knowledge because I had no idea.
Yeah,
Lack of knowledge, or you
I
think?
think it's a combination of stuff. One, it's a lack of awareness, it's a lack of knowledge, it's a mistrust of the healthcare system
Hmm.
based on what Blacks have already gone through.
Yes.
And I quite honestly, I don't think there has been enough targeting towards the Black community because this is giving stuff like living donation, stem cell donation. It's not part of our culture. We're not
Hmm.
culturally made up that way. And so, what we have found is that once you educate people and you put a face in this thing, you humanize it, people are willing to donate. There are
Hmm.
some skeptics, a few, but most people are willing. Those people 17 to 35 are willing. As a matter of fact, this past before we got on, we talked about our gala and we brought awareness. And people came up to me, what can I do? I want to get involved now that I know. So once
Yes.
people are aware and once they're educated, they're very likely to step in and help to grow that
And they
register.
may be advertising too. Like if there is advertising out there and they see like faces like ours or someone from the
Yes,
ACB community, you know what I
yes,
mean? Or even some type of like awareness sessions for the ACB community because there's a lot of fear. Like you said,
it
mistrust,
is. It
right?
is.
So some type of awareness and have someone that could actually explain, like the
Yes.
steps of being tested because I'm sure there's a lot of miscommunication on that as well. People probably think they have
Yeah,
to have surgery or needles or anything poked at them. But
correct.
explain
Correct.
to everybody how simple this is to get tested.
Okay, so it's really simple. As a matter of fact, so let me break this down. So I'm glad you brought up the whole thing of surgery. When it comes to stem cell donation, and even as a recipient of a stem cells, there is nothing invasive. It's almost like a transfusion. So
Mm.
back to your question is that for someone 17 to 35, that's what Canadian Blood Services dictates. Their sweet spot is 17 to 35 Canadians. When the first part of that process is just to swab the four corners of your cheek. It's almost like an extended
Q-tip.
yeah, Q-tip
Hmm.
brand.
Yeah.
Extended Q.
Oh.
That's swabbing one, two,
Hmm.
three, four. And then that goes to Canadian Blood Services and they put that in their registry. If you become a match, then that's the next step. They will call you in to do a workup, what we call a work. They'll actually take blood from you
Hmm.
and they have to now screen you for diseases or to ensure that not only you are a genetic fit, but also you're healthy enough to move forward with the process. And as a matter of fact, speaking of that, 2 years ago, we were out swabbing at my hairstylist. And actually, just now, I just got a picture before I jumped on here with you. Her son is a potential match, and
Wow.
he's now going through that process. So you see him there taking the blood.
That's
Now,
amazing.
it is amazing. These
Hmm.
are the moments we live for, right?
Yes.
And this is why our work matters so much.
Hmm.
And so that's the second part. If you become a match, and which is really rare, honestly, it is not
Mm.
some because it's almost like looking for a needle in a haystack. Just imagine that you cannot find a compatible donor in your family. You're now looking to strangers. That becomes
Yes.
even harder, right? And so that's why volume is important. Numbers are important. Get me more people in that registry in order to get to that level of not only representation, but to get to options where people have options,
Hmm.
right? And so that's one. And I say, if you get called by any chance you get called like that young, I think he's about 19 or 20, young man who
Hmm.
got called. They do the blood, they take your blood, and then after that, they go through that. If you still are a viable option, you're cleared of any all you're healthy, you're cleared as being
Hmm.
healthy and can move forward. Then they start to give you what we call a workup. They'll give you some growth hormone to get the stem cells to the fore. And once that's done, I think that happens over a 5 or 7 day period. Then this typically happens in a hospital or a clinic. They get you in and they hook you up to a centrifugal machine, a needle here, a needle here. It spins your blood, extracts a stem cell, and the blood goes back to you. And that's it. And you go home.
Look at that. And how long is that process approximately?
So the workup is about a week because when you give you the growth factor. And then the day of when they're actually taking the stem cell and carting it off, just a couple hours.
Beautiful. And so now I'm glad you said that because I know there's a lot of people out there that's thinking they've got to go into surgery, go under the knife. They're going to be out, for weeks at work. They'll be
Yes,
recovering and simple, just a few hours out of your day. And now you are potentially saving someone's life. Just a few hours out of your
absolutely.
day.
That's
Amazing.
exactly what's happening. And that's what we will say to our young people who are swabbing is that you could become a potential hero. You
Hmm.
become the hope for another family.
Yes.
You become the hope for a mother, a brother, a sister, a daughter, a friend, someone that looks like you, that you look around, you become their hope.
Hmm.
I remember what that looked I remember what that felt like. So desperate,
Hmm.
wishing and hoping and praying that someone would be my hope.
Can you find out who your donor was? Like, is that, I know
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
you do, but that is after an extended period, and that is if the donor wants that to happen.
Okay, okay.
So
Let's go
if the
back.
donor wants
Go
it to
ahead.
happen, yeah,
Hmm. Let's go back to your journey. So, as
yeah,
you said, this all I got sidetracked. I got, caught up in the conversation, but back to your journey. So this started out of your need, trying to
yes,
find someone. So we found someone. How did
we
this
did
process?
not.
Oh, you didn't find someone.
I did not, and time was going, so we did the next best. So I made add two options. Just get treated again, and if it came back, my odds of surviving became low because the more the leukemia comes back, is the lower your chance of surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Wait it out and die. I mean, those are the options that I weighed, or my
Yeah.
sister who was just a half match.
Mm-hmm.
And the lower your matches are, is the more prone you are to complications from the transplant.
Wow.
Lots of complications. So while the transplant is great, there can be complications.
So what's
But I
keeping you going at this point, Dorothy? Like
faith,
you said,
my three
just faith.
F's,
Yeah.
faith, friends, family, honest
Mm.
to God. That was what it is. It was because I had to turn off the noise because I was
Yes.
reading up about the transplant and all the things that could go wrong. I had to get to the point of turning it off, not reading anymore, not just, but just walking in faith.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then just having amazing support around me, my family, my immediate family, my extended family from all across, whether it's Jamaica, the Canada, US, wherever,
Mm-hmm.
people who came out of the woodwork, my peers, my business. I mean, I had support. I saw the best of humanity. And
Mm.
that gave me a lot of hope. Or people are saying, we came up, we know this person, they beat it and this and that. So those stories of success and my, and all the people who are journeying with me gave me a lot of hope. So
That's
that's
amazing.
what kept me going.
That resonates very deeply with me because, as I told you when we were speaking, I had a kidney transplant, and it was the faith, and it was my family, definitely my family and friends. Because if I didn't have that, I don't know where I would have been. Because there are times that you just feel, you know what, I've got this, I'm good, I'll make it through. And then there are times where it's just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why this is happening to me. I try not to say, why God is this happening to me? Because I believe everything happens for a reason. But there are
Mm-hmm.
those times, Dorothy, that just made me say,
Yeah,
why? What's
yeah,
going on? What did I do wrong? What's going on? You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
it's it's difficult. It's difficult.
It is immensely difficult. So I
Yes.
used to say, I was puzzled. How did
Hmm.
I get here?
I eat healthy, relatively healthy. I,
Yeah,
exercise. I don't
yeah.
smoke. I don't,
Yes,
drink
don't drink.
excessively.
I said, how did I
What?
get here? But then I realized that that's not going to help me. I just had to literally
Hmm.
stay focused and recognize what faith was. It's the evidence
Yes.
of things not seen. And I
Yes.
had to dig deep into that and say, I am well. I'm going to be well.
Hmm.
I, I read, I read, I just shifted my mindset into a place that I was already healthy.
Yes, yes. Agreed, agreed. I did the same thing. Every time I ate, this food is healing me. This food is
Yes,
healing me as we speak. This drink
yes.
I'm drinking, it's healing me, this food, because at that time, pretty much anything that I ate would just come back out. I couldn't keep my food down at
Oh,
one point, and nope, this is going to stay down. This food is staying down. This food is going to heal me. I'm going to be
mm,
fine after I eat this meal every single time. Anytime I put food in my mouth. That's
yes.
what I went through. So I completely understand what you're going through. I get it. And then in terms of turning up the noise, sometimes you get on that internet and you start reading up on stuff, Dorothy. It's scary. It
Yeah,
is scary.
yeah,
So
correct.
I get that. I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So back to you and your journey.
So
Sorry.
yeah. So I knew, so we went public, and I didn't find a match. So we did the drives, went to Jamaica. We did it privately because Canadian
Mm,
Blood Services does not extend to Jamaica. And because I'm from Jamaica and ethnicity matters, we going back. So I had to find a private lab, buy all the kits, get them down, swap people down there, my relatives, and get it back to our private lab in Portland, Oregon for them to no match. Um,
mm,
and so because time is ticking, right?
hmm.
So we didn't want the disease to start becoming more aggressive.
Yes.
I just took a leap of faith and decided to go with my sister, who was a half match. And as it turned out, and she had to come from Jamaica actually to donate her stem cell. And as it turns out, she was my perfect match. I can say after 10 years, in fact, after 10 years, so this year marked 10 years since my transplant, and I'm now considered cured of the disease.
Mm,
Not in remission, but cured. So she turned out, I had really small glitches,
hmm.
but compared to the fact that I'm here, I'm back to better than ever. And that was just a small price to pay. It was just a
Yeah.
small price to pay for being here and getting to see my kids graduate and all that good stuff. So,
What a
you know,
beautiful word, cured. Just
yeah,
cured, not
yeah,
remission. You are cured.
I'm cured. I'm cured. So
Tell me about the feeling when you heard that from your doctors and when you.
you know what? Here's the thing, because my faith is so deep, I always felt I was cured. As a matter of fact, a lot of my language was around cured.
Mm,
So not
hmm.
only did I believed it so deeply that it was reflected in my language.
So when they said it to you, when the doctors and said, you're almost like, yes, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
almost
So
like,
yeah, I felt it. I knew it. I knew this was good, and I knew it was going to be such a powerful testimony as well that I am cured. It's not a remission. It's not, and here's the thing, and a lot of people are surprised. Once I got through the transplant and all those medication to ensure that I grafted and all of that, I've taken no medication.
see,
I have not taken medication. I'm not on anything related to any of the transplant.
it's almost like it didn't even happen.
It's almost like it didn't even happen. You're
That is
right.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's beautiful. And so now you've got this gift, you've got a second chance at life.
I
And
did. I did. And so in 2014, when I went public, so I relapsed 2014, needed a transplant. We went public, had some drives, and we decided that we're going to make this official. This is going to become an official organization because the need was so great, because the
mhm,
severity of the underrepresentation was bad. The gap was so wide, 1% at the time. Blacks made up 1% of the registry. Today, 10 years later, 11, we make up 2.07%, which that's a very recent stat. So
mhm.
we're growing. It's growing in the right direction, but it's just not fast enough because we're not
Yes.
at representation. We're just on the 10,000, 9,957, just
Mm,
as at November 25th, 2025.
wow.
That's where
Wow.
we are. We're not even at 10,000. And our
Hmm.
goal is to get to representation, which is around 19, 20,000. So, but we're moving in the right direction. But at the
Hmm.
time, 1%, I knew something had to be done. I knew we
Yes.
had to have a focused strategy on the Black community, given our suspicion of the healthcare system, given that we have often been left out of the conversation, and given that I could put a face to this disease. I knew I could be myself and those around me could make an impact. And that's when
Hmm.
we formalized Donor Drive for Dorothy. And then we were a nonprofit and we got our charity status a couple of years later. And that's what we've always been doing. So our goal has always been to get more Blacks in the registry. And I'm proud to tell you on this program that we can directly account for once about 1,200 more Blacks in that registry. And I was looking at the stats, and we can see the growth even in the Caribbean population in that registry. And we can say proudly that there is a distinct attribution to
Hmm.
our work and growing that registry, especially in the Caribbean community. And so we continue to partner with people. We're now partnering with about to partner with people in your organization
Hmm.
to see how we can extend all of this, because it's not only stem cell, it's living organs, it's kidneys,
Yes.
kind of thing, right? Because the Black population is so suspicious of the healthcare system. We have to get them trusting and get them involved in the conversation. So that's what we do now. We go out and we tap into Black communities anywhere they are, whether they're faith communities, whether they're on campuses, that's at the college level, at the university level, at the high school level. We want to get
Hmm.
in your homes, because what we also know is that we are what we call influencers. The matriarchs and the patriarchs of our families, we're influencers. We influence our kids. So we know that. And we want to get into the small mom and pop stores, the hairdressers, the barber salons, anywhere the Black community congregates, we want to be there. And
That's true. And even if
yeah,
someone doesn't fall within that age bracket, someone that's a little bit older can encourage to say, you know what, hey, what,
correct.
you should probably go ahead and give it a shot. You might be that hero that they're looking for, right?
And
So we can encourage.
yeah, yeah. And we've
Hmm.
just learned about this firsthand, where
Hmm.
we can, there's that attribution to the work we have done. And for that, it's just to remind your audience, it was 2 years ago, our hairstylist hosted a swab event for us in her parking lot.
Wow.
That's where we swabbed her two kids. And
Hmm.
two have been tapped. Two were told that they could be potential matches. So it's as simple as that. And it only takes one. It
Yes.
only takes one.
Yep. Very true. And the fact
It's
that,
in your homes.
yeah, yeah, very simple. And I
Very.
think you said something previously. You mentioned that you're that face that the people can see, our audience can see a face to this, which is very important as well, because then they can see, wait a second, Dorothy looks fine. She's not on any
Mhm.
type of medications or anything. She was fine when the person who helped her out, that person is fine as well. Her sister is fine as well. So they have, like you said, having a face to this disease, having a face to show this is what happens when you can help us. This is what happens when you help take the time
Mhm.
to help, that's something miraculous as well, because seeing that face makes you realize that, you know what, it's a real situation. She went through this and now look at her. She looks amazing, right? So
Thank you. Thank
that
you.
helps big
Yes.
time. Definitely helps.
And Janine, the flip side to that is that I have walked with women who became my friends, who didn't
Yes.
make it,
Mm-hmm.
who
Yes.
didn't make it,
Yeah.
who needed a chance,
Yep.
and they died waiting on a match. So I have experienced that side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what drives us, right?
That gives you that
Because,
extra push.
yeah, so you, on one side is a celebration of life, and on the other side is Black families torn apart because
Mm-hmm.
a mom isn't there, or a dad or a brother or somebody. Only if they had that chance,
So
only
it's
if they had
bittersweet.
that
It's
chance.
bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
think that what you're doing is it's a great job. It's a great initiative. I think it's definitely making an impact. We had you at the ACB Summit as well, which was great. It was
Yes.
very informative. I personally wasn't there, unfortunately, because I was sick, but I've asked and everybody said it was great. So I'm glad you took part in that as well. So you're definitely on the right path. You're definitely getting the word out. You're definitely, raising awareness, because that's what's, like you said, that's something that actually has to take place, because the lack of knowledge is unfortunately what's holding back a lot of the ACB community. The
Yes.
fear, the myths, the lack of knowledge, that's holding us back. So I
Hmm.
think that the fact that you're out there, you're speaking, you're sharing your story, you're here on the Green Table Talk, letting others
Yes.
hear, about your journey. That's going to be very impactful, very
Well,
impactful.
well, thank you. Yeah, I feel that to who much is given, much is required, right? And so
Hmm.
the fact that I got a second chance, I feel I have an obligation to give that opportunity, or
Hmm.
Donor Drive for Dorothy collectively, that we
Yes.
have an obligation to give somebody else a chance.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So, and the truth is that it might not be today, because the beauty of when you are part of the registry is that you are on that registry for a very long time. You age out at 60. So
Mm,
somebody here at 25 to 60, you have such an extended time in which you could be somebody's help.
yes.
And the other thing too is that I almost see it as an insurance where it's you, at some point, younger people are going to get to the 40s and 50s and 60s when they become more prone to diseases like these, right? And the fact that they are part of a registry that can save lives, it could be it could be their own life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that is what excites me as well, is that there is sustainability in the work that we do,
Yes.
and there's international impact as well, because what a lot of people might not know is that once you're in this registry, you I think there are about 81 other registries that can tap into the Canadian registry, and we can tap into the other registries internationally. So when we started, I talked about once you become a donor, a potential donor, let's say, you are helping any patient in need, because the patients, your stem cell donor can come from anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So sustainability, because you're in that registry for a very long period, as
Mm-hmm.
long as you don't opt out and you do have the right to do so, and international impact, because anybody that's part of that network of registries can tap into the registries anywhere. So someone here can be a donor for someone in England or Germany. We just don't know. So, the impact is far reaching.
That is great. So you know that what you're doing, it can impact literally, like you said, anybody around the world. It's not
Yes,
just local, it's international. So Dorothy, let me
yes.
know, now that you've got this new lease, second lease on life, what is something that you want to do? I know you've done enough. You've done a lot thus far. What is it that you were saying to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna do this once I get officially get the stem cell transplant, because we know you're gonna be healed. So once it happens, this is something that I'd like to do. This is where I'd like to go. What is that one thing?
You know what it is for me, Jen? It's there are lots of goals I have, business goals, personal goals, but the biggest lesson that I took away from this experience is ensuring that the moments that I have, that they matter, that the people that I reach and come in contact with matter, and that I impact them in some shape or form, and that my time isn't wasted over things that are not important.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, time and time management has become such a huge deal, because I just recall the days just sitting in that hospital bed in a room by myself, begging for more time. And I made a pact that when I came out of this on the other side, I would guard my time, which saw zealousness, and
Mm,
I would ensure that anything that I touch was impactful and worthwhile. And the funny thing is that, so I'm into AI automation, into automation as part of my work. And I didn't understand why I had fallen in love with it. And then I realized it's because it's such a time saver. It
mm.
gives us back time. And so I said, oh, so anything that gives me back time, I love. And
You're good
anything
at that,
that,
yeah.
yeah, helps me to scale, I love. And so that is the biggest thing that came out of this for me. I'm really big on time and not wasting people's time and not allowing others to dictate my time.
Mm. Yes, that's powerful. That's
Thank you.
very powerful. I love that. Wow. Yeah, that's deep. I like that. Because if you're not careful, people can waste your time. If you're
Oh
not
my
careful,
gosh.
people could, on absolute nonsense that you could have been doing something else. You know what I mean? You could have been engaging in something else. You could have been, spending time with the family, whatever it is. You could have been doing
Yeah,
something else.
as simple as that is
Yeah.
just making the time that I have the rest of my days as impactful as possible, reaching and touching as many people as possible in whatever way that looks, in whatever that
Hmm.
looks like, right? It's that the rest of my time here on earth must matter. It must
Mm.
impact people in a way that they walk away from the conversation or any kind of encounter with me feeling better about it, or that where I put my energy matters and is going to make an impact.
I love that. I love
Yes.
that. Wow. That's nice. So tell me, what is it that you'd like our audience watching you today? What would you like them to know about, like their takeaway about stem cell donation and just this process? Like, give us something.
Yeah.
You
That
already
is,
gave us a lot, by the way. You already gave us a
yes.
lot, but just that one takeaway for our
Well,
audience.
one, it's easy and painless. There are no surgeries involved. So if you're 17 to 35 and you're listening here, or you have access to kids, grandkids, people at your church that are 17 to 35, we would like to swab you. Talk to me, call me, speak to Jenna,
Hmm.
and she'll get in touch with you. We do swab events at churches, we at homes, wherever we say 70 to 35 congregate. And that's what we like to do. Swab the corners of your cheek, get you into the registry. That's one thing. The other thing is it's seek out your own information. Do not be influenced by what you hear out there. If this is something that you want to do, get the information from a trusted source. Get the information for yourself. And of course, we could always say we're always looking for new people, volunteers, donations of any kind. But the most important thing is if you are 17 to 35, or if you have access to young adults 17 to 35, we want to connect with them. We'll
Hmm.
come out and speak like how we're on this podcast. We come out and we speak, we come out and we swab. We just want to get more people in that registry ASAP, because people who have a blood cancer, whether it's leukemia, lymphoma, they have a blood disease like aplastic anemia, which is just as deadly, or even sickle cell, they don't have time.
Mm.
Time is against them.
Hmm.
They need stuff now, and we don't want to wait until they need it. We want to ensure that we have the numbers in the registry. So if they need it, there we have potential donors available.
Yes. Well said. Well said. This has been an excellent, it's been an informative, it's been a touching episode. And you said a lot of stuff that has my mind racing, it has my mind reeling. I'm thinking about 17 to 35-year-olds in my family right about now. I'm like, ooh, I could reach out to this person. I could ask this person. Like so much things. You've got my brain just, the wheels are turning, Dorothy, as always. The wheels are
I'm
turning.
so
So
happy to hear
thank
that.
you. Thank you very much. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. This is the time of the episode where I present to you my nugget of knowledge. So basically, I would scour the internet and I would look for a quote or look for something that makes me feel that this describes you or this reflects you and your situation. So I found this quote. It's by unknown, so I'm not sure who this person is, but it says the path to happiness is turning a negative situation into positive ones, not letting anyone steal your joy, and always giving thanks and giving back. So I heard your story and this jumped out at me instantly. And right now, while we're speaking, like you literally said, you want to manage, take your time and hold it close to you. You want to, it's precious. You know what I mean? So this quote right here feels like it described you, your journey, what you're doing right now. You're giving back. You're taking your time. You're managing your time in such a way that you're impactful every moment of the day. You're doing it all, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much for all that you do, everything you continue to do, continue raising awareness, and continue to be that queen that you are, because you are gorgeous. I'm looking at you right now, like this woman, like that's it, gorgeous. Just
Thank you so much. You're so kind.
of course, of course. So thank you very much once again for joining us here on the Green Table Talk. Everyone, I'm so happy that you're here to join me in this interview with Dorothy, and have a great day. Take care. Bye.
Bye, buddy.
It's that green table talk. Hey.